just gonna take a minute here. Uh, I do apologize. The picture is not super great. Probably glad because my ugly fucking mug would probably scare everybody away anyways. So who cares? Welcome to, well, my album's out. Go subscribe to my other channel. Go subscribe to my Spotify. Check out the album. Uh, kind of wrote in the description something about like behind the music. I'm gonna disappear back and forth, dude. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to, but my camera isn't great on this phone, and it is what it is. So, anyways, album's out. Check it out. Spotify, YouTube Music, and other streaming platforms. Oh, what can I say? When I was writing this one, I was just kind of more basing it off of music I was listening to. Um, I've been listening to a lot of Celtic Frost. Um, Hence the song "Your Suffering Is My Vengeance" is actually inspired by the song God in the Dying Human Flesh, or Dying God in Human Flesh, coming into human flesh. Yeah. Anyways, um, I know, I know they're satanic. I don't really pay attention to the imagery. It's the music, it's the art that I'm paying attention to, and I just happen to like that song. So, um, you know, I started listening to Celtic Frost and started listening to, I don't know if you know, two of the members of Typo Negative and Crowbar, one of the members of Crowbar, and some, yeah, I think that's it. I think just a couple of the members of Typo Negative and one of the members of Crowbar created a band called the Sun called Sun Don't Shine. So I've been listening to a lot of that. Um, so a lot of the inspiration for this album came from like Celtic Frost and came from Sun Don't Shine and Crowbar. A little bit of Slayer, because I've been watching, I guess, Slayer's kind of back together, sort of, doing live shows. So I've been kind of watching some of the live shows. I've been watching some Nail Bomb live. So, I've just been like, during this album, I was just kind of in between songs listening to some of these bands and getting that. Oh, sorry about my phone, guys. Um, and just kind of getting that, you know, that sort of, like, I don't know, man. I just, with this one, it was like I started listening to stuff and then I would get kind of inspired. So I'd be like, all right, let's do something. Like that one video I put up here of the making of Autumn Mornings. There was another song I did too. I think I did a making of video. And basically, like, that's just one way of how I create. So, like, with this album, I was really, bloodstained, and I just kind of made a huge bloodstain. I didn't know what to do. So I was just kind of like, because I had a lot of stuff left over that I was doing from the previous one, Zombie, that Zombified, that I just didn't have enough time to finish to get that one out the way I wanted it to, because I really wanted that one to get out by Halloween. Like, that was the goal. And so, yeah, I ended up releasing it with only 7 songs, and I had a few songs left over, and that's, and then I also was working on this album called Colorful, that I put aside, and one of the songs on that, I said, I kind of like the metal part, and I like the mellow parts, so we're gonna throw that on here, and just kind of like, this album kind of started off as sort of like just throwing some material that I was previously working on, the previous material, and then I started to get a little more inspired. Like I said, I'm going through, and I'm like, one day, like when I wrote the song "Your Suffering Is My Vengeance," I was going through and I'm listening to, what was it? It wasn't, oh god, man, I forgot the name of them now, because it's the members of Celtic Frost and like two other bands, and they created a band, Triptychon or something like that, and I saw them do, um, um, Dying God and Coming into Human Flesh. I saw them do that song live, and I don't know what it was, man. So I was like, all right, man, I kind of like that, you know, and because I forgot about that album. That was when they kind of made like a sort of comeback, and I freaking love that album. Monolith, I believe it's called. No, that's oh god, no, that's the you guys know I want to. Anybody who knows Celtic Frost, you know the last album, and I think I'm pretty close to the name, but um, it's just a very weird kind of metal album, and I just fucking love that shit. I don't like normal, like I don't like Metallica. Like, no offense, man, I liked them when I was young, and I liked their early stuff and everything. I don't like them. They went too mainstream. I don't want to do that stuff. I like things like Celtic Frost when they got fucking weird in their last album. I like bands like um, when Malevolent Creation came out with the Joe Black album, right? And everybody was like, that's just craziness. And it's like, I loved it, man. I like when Morbid Angel came out with that. Oh my god, that weird album they did, man. It was, oh my god, I can't even think of the name. Something like Divinity. You guys know. Anybody who's listening to Morbid Angel, you know what I'm talking about. I like the weird stuff. I don't want to do nothing normal, So like, if you're coming on and you're looking for me to get better and doing like normal metal, no, that'll probably, because I don't want to do normal metal. But if you're looking for me to get better at doing abstract type metal, like, oh my god, I have so many weird inspirations because I don't, there were bands. There was one when I was young. I think they were called Black Araya or Black Martyr or something, man. And they were like just a goth kind of, I don't know, metal, but they were strange, and you know that's what I like. I like the strangeness of music. When I was growing up, man, everybody thought Primus was weird. I fucking loved him. I fucking loved him. I loved him. I love that weird stuff. I don't want to listen to um I don't even want to listen to Megadeth nowadays. And I like Megadeth stuff. They're pretty heavy still, but I don't even want to really listen to Slayer as much unless I go back and listen to some of their kind of more colorful albums that people didn't like Diablos and Musica when they tried to go hardcore, or when they did their punk album Undisputed Attitude. I like the weird. I didn't like the anti-establishment music because I knew when they got older they'd be fully establishment. I mean, take a look at Rage Against the Machine. Used to be completely against government control, and now they tell you to go get vaccines. It's crazy. And no, I'm not getting into that whole argument on here, so don't do it because I won't do it. But yeah, when I create music, I'm not trying to create something that you're gonna hear every day. Um, I'm not trying to like the song like. I'm gonna bring it again. The song I did. Your suffering is my vengeance, right? For the most part, for the mellow part, for some of the heavy parts, it was like one string I was hitting. One string, but I managed to make that string just sound violent. Violent. You know, when it was just mellow, it was just eerie and kind of, at least the way I thought it sounded. And other people who I had listened to it felt the same way. It was just kind of eerie and like, okay. And then it was just like violent, which is what I really liked about it because, I mean, your suffering is my vengeance. It's violence. It's me watching you suffer and getting pleasure out of that. I mean, not for real, but, in the song, actually, if you knew what I wrote some of this stuff on, you'd understand why it's so violent. I Watch You Die. That's about, that song's dark. I Watched You Die, which is on here. Actually, it's the song I'm listening to right now. I Watched You Die. It's about a boy who becomes a victim in a very horrific way. But then, when he gets older, he gets to go and witness the guy who abused him. He gets to go witness his execution. And at the very last moment, when that guy looks to him for some sort of forgiveness in the window, the kid, who was once an abused kid, who's now the survivor as an adult, looked right at him with a smile and just mouthed in a slight whisper, "I watched you die." It's the premise of the song. It's dark shit, man. My music is, it's meant to warn you about the kind of violences that I've seen out there just in true crime. The kind of violences that I've seen in my own life with the different types of abuse I went through. I live in a very liberal state, so I went through some pretty severe abuses in my life as a kid. So, I Watch You Die is kind of a personal tune to me, because I wish I had that pleasure to watch my abuser die. But I didn't, unfortunately. My abuser, there again, living where I live, got away scot-free. Well, not scot-free, he did 4 years for some of the most severe, sickest shit in the world. But hey, that's another story for another time. So, yeah, when I wrote that song, I was kind of thinking about my own little I wish kind of thing, you know what I mean? So, when I wrote that song, you know, that was kind of what was in the back of my head. Mon Murder, which is just French for my murder, is actually about how a person is trapped in a house. They know that the person that trapped them in the house is going to kill them, and that the only thing they can do really is just leave evidence. Just leave a ton of evidence. And you'll hear in the lyrics how the protagonist tends to bite their lip and then just spit the blood everywhere, spit it in places where... Because if you... See, I learned this through crime documentaries. When a cop does a traffic stop, if you ever notice they touch the back of your car, it's because if shit goes awry, they have a way of proving they were at that scene, and basically proving if if they get murdered at that scene, they have a way of proving that, okay, like they have a way of making that case open and shut. That's why if you ever notice, cops always touch your car during a traffic stop. And they always touch the back end. It's never like the front. It's never where they know. Because some people do know this, some people don't though. But when a cop does a traffic stop, he touches the back end of your car. He does that purposely with his hands. You'll see a cop take his fucking gloves off. I've seen it. They'll take their fucking gloves off and they'll touch the back of your car to leave evidence if you murder them. And that's where I kind of came up with the premise of the song that, of this, oh my god, what song was it? Sorry guys, Mon Murder, sorry. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. My Murder in French. But yeah, it's basically, yeah, the premises of like, okay, my murder. So you're going to murder me. That's fine. I'm going to make sure I leave evidence in every inch of this room in places where you wouldn't even think. So that cops will be like, well, maybe they were smart enough and left some DNA trace under the sink or under the toilet or in an area where like a plug or something. And always remember, listen, if you ever find yourself in a situation, okay, and you know that you're not going to get out of that situation, dude, bite your fucking lip and leave blood everywhere. Leave it in little traces where they can't see it so they can't wipe it off. Because if somebody's going to murder you, dude, you better be willing to take their ass down with you in court. You better be willing to solve your own murder when you're dead. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where you're stuck, that's my murder. That was the premise of the song. You know, you're stuck in a room. You know you ain't getting out. This guy's coming back to kill you. This is it. This is your life. Your life's over. So you might as well end his. And the best thing you can do, you ain't got no weapons. You ain't killing the guy. So what's the best thing you can do? Well, the best thing you can do is leave evidence, trace evidence everywhere. You know, all my music, I always try to have some sort of like a meaning to it. Or sometimes it's just a story. Or sometimes it's about my life. It depends. Obviously, my murder is not about my life because I'm still alive here and I didn't frame anybody for my murder or anything like that. So, we're good. It's a song. I like I said, I like to watch true crime and I don't worship the devil, so I'm not going to, glorify the devil in my music. People would say, well, your music's very evil still. Yes, it is. It's to remind you of the evils in the world that, sickos out there have created. But anyways, so yeah, my murder. I wanted to be interesting and give it a title that wasn't English because I'm fucking stupid and why not be stupid and do something stupid. So instead of calling it My Murder, I called it My Murder in French. I looked up the French lingo and I wrote it down. That was it. Plain and simple. But My Murder, it's pretty much about, well, if you're gonna be murdered, you might as well make sure there's trace evidence everywhere. Always remember though. Always remember, if you see a cop touching the back of your car, he's just protecting himself. So always remember that. I'm looking kind of on my track listing and I'm kind of listening to the tracks as I go too, just to have something to go in the background. Autumn Mornings. That was just kind of out of the blue. I wanted to do something with you guys. So I did Autumn Mornings. We just kind of built that together. You guys can find that on this channel. I am asking, please, I have a link to my other channel. Go give that a sub too. I really could use the support. I'm trying to get my music out there. Like any artist, come on now. I'm being realistic, okay? If I can make a living doing what I do, what I love doing, making my dream come true, I'm definitely gonna try. Even at my old age of 46 years old, I'm still gonna try. I didn't really have a chance when I was a kid. Another story, another day. But anyways, so moving on. So yeah, Autumn Mornings. I started off. It was just a guitar track, and then I left it at that with you guys, and then the next day I started listening to it and kind of going through it, and then I ended up putting some keyboards in there and making it kind of a goth. Look, man, I'm into old school goth, like typo negative goth metal type stuff. I'm into that kind of stuff. I'm into some new stuff, but I can't honestly tell you names these days. I mean, I just see stuff. I do like that Fallen in Reverse. I know there's a lot of controversy about this guy. I don't really care about their controversies. Don't really care. Everybody's got controversy in their life. That's the way I see it. I really don't care about his controversy. His music's cool, so whatever. So I do have some modern, music that I do listen to here and there. I just couldn't tell you names. Used to be a huge fan of Slipknot. Their last album I wasn't so crazy about, but hey, everybody does something different, so I'm not here to knock them for it. I just wasn't crazy about it. It's just the Adderall song just kind of got to me. I didn't like that too much. Just thought it was weird. Didn't understand why he wanted to put that on there. But anyways, yeah. So this album right here, Bloodstained, it's out. It's on YouTube Music, Spotify. It'll be on other streaming platforms. Go give my Spotify some love, because let me tell you, my Spotify has no love. My Spotify has no love. It's crazy. I went down a rabbit hole during the making of this album too. A little frustration. Um, that's okay. You get over it. I went down this rabbit hole of seeing some really crummy music out there, and it's like, I had to have a few people be like, dude, those people are getting made fun of. When people are watching their videos, they're getting made fun of. One thing I had a friend of mine who does YouTube. He told me is dude, you better like to do what you do, and I do, and so that's what matters. But I went down this rabbit hole and I saw some funny ass shit, man. I was like, holy cow, man. Tasty biscuits. I'll never forget tasty biscuits. But anyways, so I went down some rabbit holes in this. Um, anyways, no more tears left. I was. I'm kind of seeing some people in my life. I'm seeing some people out there go through some shit right now. And that's why writing No More Tears Left, it's like don't really have tears left, but I'm seeing a lot of people out there go through stuff, and because I'm not really going through emotional stuff like that, I kind of try to put myself in other people's shoes, and so this one, yeah, it was just kind of like, it was like I wasn't really going through anything when I wrote the song, but I wanted to put myself in the shoes like I was. Because I am. I'm seeing a lot of people go through stuff right now. There's a lot of people going through some pretty rough stuff. I alone, in the last few years, have lost a couple of friends to cancer. Like some pretty rough, aggressive cancer. So, and the pandemic, I mean, I had seen some people suffer through that too. My wife included. Um, but yeah, so when No More Tears Left, it was like I was trying to put myself in the shoes, but I was also like trying to say like I myself don't have no more tears left. You know, People feel sadness. It's weird. They get sad, right? When you feel sad, you get sad, right? I don't know. I'm not good at descriptions. You feel sad, you feel sad, right? It's just not how I am when I used to, because I have bipolar disorder. I have PTSD. I have a few issues from childhood trauma stuff, and I don't I don't feel sadness like some people do. I feel anger when I get sad. I don't feel sad. That's why whenever I do like a mellow song, there's always more anger to it than there is mellow, because I don't feel sadness like that. I just feel angry. So like even this song, no more tears left. It's not really like a sad kind of mellow. It's just kind of mellow. It's weird. So I think the saddest song I have written is on this album, though. That is the truth. It's probably the one time that I really kind of dipped deep into my life without even thinking about it. Actually, it was a beautiful in a sense. No, not really beautiful. I mean, I don't really consider sad music beautiful. But the music is. I don't really care about the lyrics. Look, I'll understand with me. Like for me, the guitar playing is the most. Like the guitar playing is what I want to do the most. Um, the singing is second to me. I just do the singing because the music requires the singing. But the tragic hippie song, Mark's theme, just started off as the tragic hippie song, and it was supposed to be kind of like making fun of goths, making fun of when I was a goth when I was a kid. Just kind of poking fun at myself a little bit. And I did. I'm like, I got myself good. I got myself good until I started recording the music. And then I started recording the lyrics. And then I started to say, no, I didn't get myself. I kind of trauma dumped on this song. So I don't really like to do the trauma dumping. I've written one, I say it in every video, I've written one song, one album about myself, about my life. Every artist probably does. It's an angry album. It's not positive. There's nothing positive about it. So that's. So when I wrote the Tragic Hippie song, it was supposed to be like kind of funny. It didn't turn out funny. It turned out sad. I mean, stupid me. I try to make, sometimes when you're making music, it doesn't always come out the way you would like it to. I mean, we all know this. Um, so, I wasn't really trying to make a sad song when I made that song, but it happened. So it is what it is. So we'll move on from that because, it was kind of a trauma dumping song and I hate that shit. And I wasn't going to include it, but a friend of mine told me, I kind of like the song, you should. And I was like, and he's like, no, do it, man. Just do it. I kind of like the song. So I did. I took his advice and put it on there because I do. I have friends that I go to and I say, hey, what do you think? Oh, hello. How you doing? Um, I have friends that I go to and have them listen to music before I release it and ask them what they think. And if and I tell them be brutally honest. And if it sucks, tell me it sucks because I don't want to put something up that sucks. So, I've had a couple of songs where it's like, I'm not sure. And they're like, no, put it up. Tragic Hippie song was one of them. I wasn't going to put the song anywhere. I was actually going to erase it. And he was like, nah, man, put it on your latest one that you're working on now. Don't put it on that colorful album because that colorful album it's not going to fit there. You know. So, enough about that song, but then we put that on there. I wrote the song Scum. I mean, scum, Need I say too much more? No, I don't fuck with Discord. Nope. Nope. Used to do Discord until some political group tried to recruit me into their political group where they do political violence, and I said I'm not down with that. I'm not down with that. Nope. So yeah, I apologize. When people start trying to involve me in their like political garbage, I dip out. I dip out. See ya. Nope. That's like here. I've had people try to come on here with their political garbage, and I delete it, and I block them from the page, and I don't want to deal with it. So no, I don't do Discord. I did Discord when I used to do game streaming on this channel, and I quit game streaming. When I started to realize what, like, a good majority of what some of these game streamers are like, I quit game streaming and I quit going on Discord. I play video games, but I don't want to game stream. I don't want to game. I don't want to do gaming reviews, nothing like that. Nope. Mm-mm. I'd just rather release my music and that's it, and be happy with that. No, I don't play Roblox. Nope. Nope. No, 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 no. I play adult games. I apologize for that. Well, I mean, I guess Roblox can be adult games, but there's also a lot of predators on that game, and I don't even let my kids go on that. Yeah, no, I don't play Roblox. I play a lot of my Nintendo. I play, you know, I don't play a lot of online games. If I do, I play like Ghostbusters, Spirits Unleashed, and I don't chat online. I don't just accept friends on my game systems. Yeah, no, no, no Roblox, no kid games, no Minecraft, no Fortnite. I don't do Fortnite. This was supposed to be about my album, but that's all right. We can talk video games for a little bit because I do love the gaming. I do, I do love gaming, but I no, I don't like to play the games that children play. I like to play adult games. Final Fantasy. Um, I stay away from Call of Duty. I do like Battlefield. I don't chat online. I gotta. Should I rage your channel? What do you mean raid my channel? No, well, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna get shift away from games and get back to music. So anyway, Scum. Yeah, Scum is a song that I wrote. Well, you know what? I'd have to look on the lyrics on this one because you know what? Here's the thing. I'm trying to think because there was something specific about it, but it was also just about scumbags. Oh yeah, okay, never mind. Yeah, I know a scum. Scum. Okay, I had to take a minute. I was looking through some of my lyrics on Scum because that one kind of evaded me because you got to understand I did the album My Hate Is For You, and I had a couple of songs left over from that, and that's right, Scum was left over from that, and I ended up redoing some of the guitar work, and the song is about my abuser. We'll just say that. Like I said, I don't like to do the whole trauma dumping thing, and I'm not going to do that. But that's what Scum's about. Um, yeah. Look, I did a lot of writing about myself over some time, and didn't really. Still trying to figure out what this person said down here. Should I raid your channel? Why would you raid my channel? Like a good way of raiding? I don't know. I don't care. Man, see, this is why I don't pay attention to comments though, because people say weird things. So yeah, Scum's about my abuser, and we'll just leave it at that. Because I don't want to get into the whole trauma dumping thing. When I wrote this album, like I said, I that's why it's like just a kind of a blood spot and blood stained and just kind of. I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to stop playing because I just had a lot of really, what I feel, some really good stuff coming out of me. Just ideas, you know. I think of when I write music, I'm trying to use my imagination. I'm trying to use my imagination to. Oh, sorry guys, I gotta read a message here. I was trying, when I go about writing. Sorry about that. I had to read a message. When I go about writing music, it's I imagination, man. It's all about imagination. It's all about I want to make this guitar make a funky sound. I make it make a funky sound. I'm not, I like I said, I like what I like to call broken sounds. You know, and but I don't know what the technique's actually called. Because look, I play by ear. I don't play by technique. So my thing is when I'm going like I said, um, the song your oh my god, I apologize, guys. The song "Your Suffering" is my vengeance. Like I said, it was just one string. It's like one string, and then I got to a little chorus. Then one string. Then I got to a heavy spot where I just took that one string and just kept, you know, um, I don't know. It was one of those. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, see, like right here, the beginning. You got. Oh wait. Yeah, see, yeah, it's one string because I'm just basically using a bend, and then I'm playing into. Oh my God, what the see? I don't play by technique, guys. I play by ear. But part of it's like one string, and then it's just like a chord, and then one string again. Even on the mellow parts, one string and then a chord. That's. Your suffering is my vengeance was meant to be kind of like an abstract, kind of like just violent, one string violence, you know, in your face, I'm gonna rip it off kind of song. And so, I figured I'd come on, give you guys a little behind the music on this album, trying to get uh, little more activity going on this page, trying to get my music out there. So please share, subscribe, and share. There's also on my channel here, there's a second link to my other channel, which is my I like to call it my portfolio channel or my distro kid channel, which is the Mark M. Martin channel. Um, Please give that a like and subscribe as well. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this album. Please go on and get this album a like on Spotify, on YouTube Music, or whatever streaming platforms you come across it on. Um, Subscribe to both my YouTube channels. Subscribe to my Spotify if you can. Let's get if you guys can help me get some fans. All right. So y'all have a good night, and hope you guys enjoy the music. What in the heck? Okay.